Everybody, it's Jonah 59kg here. I am just making this video to cover like some of my training for this doubles block that has been really successful, which is a major part of the reason why I'm making this video and what I'm gonna do over the next couple blocks leading into the summer, I guess. And I will be dropping like a little announcement when we get there. So stay tuned for that. I'll come here in a couple minutes. So basically with my doubles block, now since I'm self-coaching, it's all of my control, and basically my structure this block, I was gonna do a 5-week block originally, because the first week I was gonna do it after my fours block. I was having like some major hip pain, and so I only did my first session and then my last session, with are both SBD days, which SBD days are so underrated, it's not even funny. I think SBD days are great. Alex Kano, I don't know him personally, but I've heard and watched a lot of videos where he talks about SBD days, more specifically on the Cool Lifting podcast. Shout out Foam, I love all their videos. So that the first day, it's usually on like a Monday or Tuesday. I do pause squats, a 3-2-0 tempoed bench, and then I'll do pause deadlifts. So basically my thought process for that day was, sorry guys, just punctuality and making sure that all my movement patterns stay consistent, because that's one of my biggest problems, I think, is keeping my form consistent from week to week, and just generally through almost all my lifts every session. A lot of my lifts are very like inconsistent in terms of the movement pattern, and so basically, since I've been having those problems, I implemented those variables, those that's what's it called, variations for my SB and D, to what's it called, try and I guess train and build on my movement pattern, because there was points where it did get better and worse, but this block, and especially last block with the fours rep scheme, it really worked. And that's when I first implemented the I guess the first SBD day, where it's the variations. And honestly, it's been like literally amazing with that getting in there. And I will just go off and say like what my other days are, just to give y'all like a little idea. And so my next day, which would be right after the day after my first session, would be a squat and bench day. And I do a tempo squat and a Spoto press. I personally like tempo squats because I do lose a lot of, I guess, I don't know if I'd call it tension, but when I hit the hole, I'd hit it really inconsistently, and so like coming out the hole, I was not confident at all on squats. And I noticed that with tempo squats, it helped me with not only movement patterns, so I'm getting 2 movement pattern, I guess, tune-ups in a 2 days to tune up my movement pattern in a row. I'm also getting 2 days to get stronger, focus on, I guess, technique really well, because these are lighter days. And I'm also able to try and really nail down on that the squat pattern, and especially hitting the hole with those tempo squats. And so with Spoto press, my thought process is, I feel like I've failed most of my benches at lockout, usually like right off the chest, like about 2 inches off the chest or so. And so my thought process with Spoto is, if I can load a certain amount that I might not have been able to do without this, I guess, the Spoto press, obviously, then how do I say this? I feel like it'd just build the force output, and it make me stronger, and it has. It's been working really well. And my thought process with that was, I watched a podcast where I think it was Alex Kano. Um, you'll probably hear that name a lot throughout this video. He said something about, well, he talks about how he loves force output and how that's like a big priority of his. And I kind of took that and ran with it when I came to this conclusion, and so that's why I do Spotto press. And it's been working really well. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm doing more on Spotto press than I would like a normal set. Like it's pretty even, with what I do comp style. So like I hit 160 for 4 at like 7.5, and that was a PR on Spotto. And I've done 170 for 4 comp style. I did that the previous block. So this, when I hit that, it was like 2 weeks ago, or yeah, when I hit the 160 for 4 Spotto, that was like 2 weeks ago. And then let's see, I think 2 weeks before that, I did 155 for 4, and it was harder. I think it was because my movement pattern was not as good, and I wasn't as locked in as I am now in terms of externals and just other controlling variables. So that was that, and there will be like gaps in this block because on my week 1, like I said, I was dealing with like some major pain, and so I skipped those 2 days, right? But then this past week, I had some personal stuff going on, and I'm not going to go into detail. I'm not going to make a sob story or anything or try to get anybody's, sympathy. But I did kind of use what happened as like a bit of an excuse to not, I guess I did use it as an excuse not to work because I didn't work, and definitely my fault. I could have, but I chose not to because I was too caught up in my feelings, which, that's just gonna happen. That's just life, getting caught up with those things. So yeah, I did miss my second and third session again on a week. This is, I don't, man, I'm kind of disappointed about it, I won't lie, but it kind of worked out in a way, because the video I just posted on Instagram and TikTok, it's an 870 doubles total at, I'd say, like 7, 8. Next week's gonna go crazy. Hopefully gonna push like 900 plus for reps, 890 at the very least. So what was I on about? Missing those days. So I don't know why, but I did go like into this workout feeling like strong and confident. I don't know if all that rest like really, let my body just, recalibrate after just being so consistent and nail on the head, and also doing other things outside of the gym that had built up maybe fatigue or mental fatigue. Because I feel like when I start to feel fatigued, in my mind, I start to just think I'm way more fatigued than I really am, and I psych myself out really hard. And I think giving myself those 2 rest days just absolutely worked. I'm not sure if I'll implement this as like as an actual training thing. Any time in the future, but it's something that I'm for sure gonna keep my mind on, because like it's interesting, and it's interesting to me. And I will also say, on the week 1, well, technically week 0, because I was gonna do a 5-week block, I felt phenomenal on that day too, aside from like the hip pain. But I think that was the second session I had switched up my squat and deadlift technique to accommodate for the hip pain. But yeah, sorry guys, windy, out here in Texas. Anyway, so basically, I just totally lost my train of thought. Anyway, okay, I just caught back on. Um, so basically, I'm not sure if I ever will do that again on purpose. If I ever do notice that like I might need to skip a workout, I might see if I could adjust it to working out just that one day and then making it so close to my primary that it kind of translates over and I'm not so far spaced out between my day 1 and my day technically 2, which would be actually my day 4, just without those 2 days in between. If I could like space them close enough to where I have that preparation, because like deadlifting 2 times a week is already hard for me to do, you know, like on a Monday or Tuesday and then go on like a Friday or a Saturday and deadlift, because I feel like I don't have as much practice with my technique, which is something that I'm just gonna have to deal with, because if I deadlift 3 times a week, I'm just gonna get way too fatigued. That's just something I know as an athlete, and I guess as a coach. Which, if you need a powerlifting coach, hey, hit me up. I got some good ideas. You know, I can help y'all out. You know what I'm saying. But I don't charge or anything like that. It's just I just want to help people out. I love being a problem solver. That's just what I want to do. So basically, now since this next week it will be week 4 of the triples and or the doubles, sorry, and I'm gonna explain to y'all while I went 4 with 4s and 2s and then eventually, you know, 3s and then 1s, which is what I'm gonna do here in a little bit. These next couple blocks, I will be explaining that. So this week 4 is gonna go absolutely crazy. I'm planning on doing pause squats at 250, my tempoed bench at 165, and then my pause deadlifts at 330 for 4, and then 340 for 4. Just those 2 ascending sets. I might add in a third. I did do a third ascending set on my day 1 of week 2. But that was really just to adjust to the hook grip and just get some more practice in with it. So I'm not sure if I will, but I might. I do like the setting sets, so I didn't notice that I liked them. I didn't notice how much I liked setting sets till I did this, till I did that, just to see how like hook grip felt, set after set, and I mean it felt good. I love setting sets now, and shout out Elliot Sykes too, because I noticed that like he does a lot of setting sets, and that kind of like made me think, you know, how could I use that to my advantage? How could I use ascending sets to my advantage? And if they could help me progress in any way, because at the end of the day, all I'm trying to do is adjust, fix, and recalibrate to progress and get better. Sorry about the AC. Anyway, because all we want to do in the sport is get better. We just want to get stronger. We just want to put more force into the bar. That's all we want to do, right? And so adjusting and being smart about my approach has been, you know, probably one of the more changing things, and especially like watching a lot of the cool lifting podcasts, I've learned a lot from them, especially with my programming. My programming's improved quite a bit, and it was already somewhat good. I'm still figuring out like certain accessories I can do, because I am in a home gym that is very limited to my accessories, but I am making it work. I'm trying my best to do accessories. I'm trying new things every week to try and just progress with accessories. It's just, you know, a bit harder, especially like with leg workouts. It's just way harder to find accessories, which leads me to the conclusion that I might be swapping out tempo squats for high bar squats on the day 2 to get some I guess just some more quads in there. And yeah, and so on the week 4, day 4, that SBD day will be on Friday, here in about 6 days. 6 days. We're hopefully gonna squat like I personally want to do like 335 or 340. Here, I'll get a calculator out so I can add this all up for y'all. And so like Okay, I'll start from the low end. On the low end, at the very, very least, I want like 330 on squat. What's that like? And then I'm thinking like low end on bench is 185 for sure, because bench has been absolutely amazing. So that'll give me a 515 subtotal, which is all right, I think, with doubles and what's it called? The low end. And so for deadlifts, I'm thinking on the low end 375, because that 365 moves so good, and I think it would have moved faster if like my if like this callus didn't start kind of pulling down on me. Like I could tell even on my last warm up. If you're one of my Instagram followers, you would have seen my story. It was like if my callus rips on my chud, and it was this callus, not the pinky. The pinky is completely healed and fine. It's just this I guess my ring finger callus. It's just like so cooked. But anyway, so that 330, 185, 375 gives me an 890 doubles total, which would be like a crazy. Not crazy. It won't be a crazy PR, but I think it'll be a PR for like for doubles in general, because I think before this block, my PR subtotal was 490, so that's already like, what's that, 25 pounds to the subtotal. And then deadlifts did take a crazy fall because of the hamstring and whatnot. But anyway, so my PR doubles total is 895. So even if I hit my low end, I'm hitting just 5 pounds below my personal best, while it being such a productive block, and not even planning on going this crazy this block. Like I was not planning on this at all. So if I get 890 on the low end, I'll still be happy with it. And on the high end, let's see, we're hoping for, this is personally what I'm really betting on. I really want to get these numbers down by the list. So like 340 on squat, which would be 15 pounds under my 1 rep max, which would be absolutely crazy to me. I just think that'd be phenomenal if I hit 340 for 2. Like it'd be crazy to me. And on the high end on bench, I want to hit like 190, which would give me a 530 subtotal, and 190 is my all-time PR on bench. That's the most weight I've ever lifted on bench without like equipment, because I'm a THSP lifter. So before they did the raw, I was benching in a bench steady, benched like 340 in that at like 130, by the way. Anyway, never translated to the platform. I sucked. Anyway, so basically, bench is nuts. 190 is exactly what I want. Like 185, that would be cool. But 190, if I took my all-time PR, by the way, that's touch and go, all-time PR, touch and go, for a doubles at like 8.5 or 9, I would be literally ecstatic, especially considering that gave me a 530 subtotal. And I think that matches my subtotal from my state meet when I was like a 123 and whatever happened. Or that's like a plus 5 pounds to that at a much lower RPE and obviously a higher body weight and whatnot. But there's other things that you'd have to take into account, which I will get into in another video. And okay, for deadlifts, I'm honestly hoping for like 385 on the high end, which I'm just happy thinking about that number on hook grip, and that would give me 915. And the lore behind 915 is crazy. I think that's 5 pounds over my state total when I was 123, absolutely peaked with the coach. And I think if I can hit 815 with doubles at a higher body weight, lower RPE, self-coach, and with more externals that I have to handle and deal with, I think it just shows that I am a progressing lifter, and I do want to get on people's radars. And I think this will kind of show like, hey, this kid is here, and is going to put something up here within the next few blocks that's going to absolutely shock them. And that's just something I'm hoping for. But that is a little bit much, but that is the goal, 9:15. Which, I mean, even if I fall short by like 5 or 10 pounds, that's still just absolutely crazy to me that I would even begin to hit that for doubles. And yeah, I'd just be ecstatic. So that covers that. That covers this block of training. And I'm not gonna get into the specifics of my my next 2 blocks, but I will explain like the rep schemes and what I guess the rep schemes. So basically, I just did my doubles block, and I did a fours block before this. So you know, I saw a lot of people do blocks where they'd go reps for 4, 3, 2, and then 1. But I did notice some people would like complain about being like super fatigued from the doubles because you're getting closer to that 1 rep max while also doing more reps. For in most cases, in like cases where you're gonna hit like PRs or get closer to that territory for the doubles, I noticed personally for me as well that I'd get like heavily fatigued between that the doubles and the singles block because I did last summer, and I used that previous data to come to this conclusion that I'm going to try to come at a different approach. And originally I was thinking like maybe like fives to threes and then 2s to 1s to see if that would work. But I eventually tossed that idea because doing sets of 5 is like brutal for me. That's like cardio. That's like crazy cardio for me. And so I came to the idea probably like about a month ago or so. The first week of the fours block. The first week of the fours block, right before I did my first session, I was just doing some training, just thinking, just absolutely using my brain to the maximum potential. And I've come to the conclusion I'm going to do my fours block, and then I'm going to do my doubles block, and then I'm going to go back up to triples, and I'm going to go drop it down to singles the following block. And why I'm doing this is because the fatigue management, I think, would just be better like this, way better. I think fatigue management is just, I think fatigue's a friend, but if I want to use fatigue as a friend in this situation, I'm gonna have to move my my block scheme around, and so I did change it. This will be my first time doing it, from the 4s to the 2s to the 3s to the 1, and now I am moving into the triples block where I am absolutely ready to get going and get some good momentum in, because I am carrying a lot of momentum already, and I think that's gonna allow me to maybe have my triples first week be light, very light, not anything like stupid like not under 50%, but definitely some weight that's just gonna absolutely fly. And so whatever fatigue I do have, I guess it'll kind of drop off and drop and taper off by the time I get to the primary session, my SBD day, the primary SBD day for my triples. I think that week or so, it'll give me enough time to drop the fatigue from where it's at, even if it's like just a little bit higher. If I can just drop that fatigue a little bit into this block, and I think that will allow me to carry more momentum into the block and keep it. And obviously I am going to accumulate fatigue, especially around like the week 3 and week 4, but my thought process is with doing it just the previous block and the previous block before that as well. If I do it leading into my singles block, it should work out the same according to the data. And if it doesn't, oh well, I learned. You know what I'm saying? This is all just like trial and error, and I think it'll work. I'm almost certain that it'll work. I'm very confident in this idea, and a part of the reason I'm confident in the idea is because I listened to Alex Kano on the Cool Lifting podcast. and he was talking about how he experienced the fatigue between the doubles and the singles block when he would go 4-3-2-1, and that like literally clicked in my mind. That was like an oh crap moment for me, where I realized like this is gonna be probably a good and right approach. And listening to Alex Kano go into go into depth about it and really explain explain it more than I personally can right now without any notes in front of me. It was just awesome, and it was such a great learning experience. And so yeah, that's just what I wanted to cover in this video. Thank you all for just coming and listening to this. And I think that, like, if you do implement some of these things, and if you do need any help with implementing anything, just reach out on my Instagram at Jonah59kg, and I will help you, and I will do anything to help you. And thank you, everybody. And I would like to direct y'all to the Cool Lifting podcast, and to go watch them. You will learn so much from them. It's an amazing, their podcast is an amazing tool to learn and progress. And so yeah, that's the video, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Remember to like and subscribe, maybe drop a comment if you'd like to. Sorry about the long video again, but this is such a topic that I did want to discuss and really go, I guess, into detail without stretching the video out to like an hour long, because I could have gone on with this video for about an hour, but I didn't. I made it 30 minutes, or just under 30 minutes, just for the sake of y'all. And yeah, so just thank you, everybody, for coming and watching. If anybody does watch this, thank you so much. I appreciate it.